All right, we are live.
Anything in the magic is the spell. Him getting to do whatever he wants and travel the world and etc. Get sucked up to by all kinds of people who are smart too. Fucking, that's the real magic.
Mm-hmm. We are live. We're on YouTube now. Let's reboot it on my phone real quick. See if it's fucking live. Better be. Why isn't it showing up like it's live? Wait a minute. Hell yeah. We are live. Fuck yeah. All right, podcast is on. It's going. We're rolling. So we got Java here and we have myself, Wolf. So let's get into it. Occult aliens. What have ye to say, Java?
I mean, there's a lot of different takes out there. It's really hard to sift through all of it.
Yeah, right before I started streaming, we were talking about they're all swingers.
Yeah, Jack Parsons and his whole scene.
Do you think that I think it had a direct link to like the swinger culture of the 60s. I think these dudes like were the pioneers of it.
This is earlier than that. This is more like the beats in the 50s.
Well, that's my point. This is what paved the way for it. Like I said, these are the pioneers.
Yeah, I mean, you know about the beats, right?
Like the beatniks?
Ginsberg and like Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, and those people. That was all before the 60s.
I hate it when I try to smoke some weed on the sly and it acts all demonically possessed. God damn it. Just fucking burning all over the place.
Demons must be attacking you because you're talking about them again.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I swear to God, I was getting demonically fucking attacked during that recording.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I was unseasonably itchy that whole time. Unseasonably itchy. It wasn't itch season. Well, not even nearly. Yeah, no, I like the house was cold and I kept getting like flushed feeling like it was hot, but like, you know, like
the explanation for that is demons.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could it be?
Definitely not anything reasonable. And quite frankly, I did not like it. But yeah, so they were swingers. You were saying
their whole thing. I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and what he had an ad for people that he was let live in his house. Specified that only bohemians, artists, musicians, atheists, anarchists, or any other exotic types need to apply for rooms. Any mundane soul would be unceremoniously rejected. So he hated like normalcy.
Sounds kind of queer.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was part of it. I mean, all the beats were all into that, all that stuff. Free love, etc. All kinds of stuff like that. And it sounds like these people definitely were too.
There's
and it sounds like he tried to get everybody into it. And lots of people, other engineers, like rocket scientists, some of them were like, "Nah, that's weird." Because I think it was really more about all this like sex and drugs
Mm-hmm.
and power over people who think that you have magical powers.
Yup. The fucking there's definitely a link between Jack Parsons and or not Jack Parsons, fucking Aleister Crowley and Jack Kerouac. There's definitely a link. They both did shitloads of heroin. Think about it.
Oh, I'm sure all the beats were influenced by Crowley.
I definitely, dude. Like, Aleister Crowley is on the Sgt. Pepper's album cover, top left corner, bald head.
Yeah, that's the Beatles, though.
Yeah, but that's pop culture. That's like the definition of pop culture.
Oh, but by then, that's later, though. By then, more people would have heard about it. This is the 60s.
Yeah, but they're hearing about it from those other guys that were adjacent to it, is what I'm claiming. You know, like all this shit with the Babylon working and et cetera, it happened, and then
I mean, it sounds like he was just jacking off onto some magical tablets that he made.
Sounds like Joseph Smith.
That's literally what it says on Wikipedia.
He was jacking off on the tablets?
Yes.
Read it.
Let me find it, yeah. In December 1945, Parsons began a series of rituals based on Enochian magic, during which he masturbated onto magical tablets, accompanied by Sergei Prokofiev's second violin concerto.
Nice. He was a true Sigma. Like, in all honesty, though, can you blame him?
He allowed Hubbard to take part as his scribe, believing that he was particularly sensitive to detecting magical phenomena.
Dude, imagine these two
watch me jack off on this magical tablet. I have a feeling that you're like really sensitive to magical phenomena. So if you sense any magical phenomena while you're watching me jack off, could you write that down?
Dude. Imagine the serious conversations that took place. Like, I would pay to be a fly in the wall, dude. I would pay. Even though it would mean having a 24-hour lifespan, I would still pay. Like, holy fuck, man.
I think he was just making it up as he went along. Like, I don't know. I think they all were.
I mean, that's definitely the case with Aleister Crowley.
And then L. Ron Hubbard scammed him later on.
Yeah, he scammed him out of like 20 grand, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic L. Ron move right there.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I mean, he was all about the money.
Oh, always. Never wasn't. What was I gonna say? Man, just the thought of them jacking off together is just so funny.
No, he just needed him to be a scribe to note any magical phenomena.
This is so funny.
As described by Richard Metzger, Parsons jerked off in the name of spiritual advancement, while Hubbard scanned the astral plane for signs and visions.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is what brought about the Antichrist and the rift in the space-time continuum.
Are you sure?
Seems pretty, you know.
Are you sure that those are even true, though? That's not just rumors? Because, like, back then, people would just say stuff. You know, and if you were like summoning the Antichrist and there was people that didn't want people to know about it, they'd be like, he didn't summon no Antichrist, he was just masturbating.
Yeah. Although, I mean, who knows? I mean, I think semen has been used in magic for a long time, actually. So it's not really that crazy, I guess. But
Yeah, I mean, how are you gonna summon an antichrist without jacking off? Think about that. Like, it's obviously gonna involve some sort of something, you know? Like, it's a complete degenerate act.
I guess it makes sense. You're trying to create a demon or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like some sort of inversion of.
Hey, look up Hillary Clinton's birthday.
It's right around then.
I'm just saying, look it up.
October 26th, 1947.
All right, so what would be 9 months before that? Look that up. Or do the math. I'm bad at counting backwards.
October, that'd be what, sometime in the spring?
Would it be like...
So probably like March? March 47?
Okay. No, March of 46, because she was born in 47. Or when was she born?
October. So it should be the same year. So it would still be 47. March 47. Which is not when he was jacking off onto the tablets.
No, but that was just phase 1.
Okay, but he said it was done here. The final ritual took place in the Mojave Desert in late February 1946. So not 9 months before Hillary Clinton was born.
So
It was a good theory, though.
So they outsourced the Antichrist. And a few months later, they got one of their cronies to birth another moon child named Hilldog. Yeah, that was one theory that someone had proposed to me, is like, they're like, the dates match up, blah.
I don't know. I feel like these Thelema people, like, they're like, hey, everybody, I'm doing magic. You know?
They're definitely edgelords.
I feel like that means that they're not, right? Because if you really had crazy magical powers, you wouldn't be like that. You'd be like, I'm a regular, normal guy.
So that's something that, if you watch the whole occult aliens thing, you kind of have to read the writing on the wall to get it. But what I'm getting at is that Thelema and dark magic and all of this stuff is kind of like an access point to these dark forces and what have you. But you're not the one with the powers. They are the powers. Do you get what I'm saying? And so people will partake in this stuff, and it might not seem like it is real or has any effect or is real. Like, they're just a crazy person. But in non-physical reality, behind the veil, what could potentially be actually occurring is that there's ripple effects, you know, and there's like these thought beings. I've talked to you about this before. Like, there's these thought beings that are these demons or whatever, you know, the Hasatan, etc., you know, this anti-consciousness consciousness, you know, and when partaking in this stuff, you're like feeding it and making it stronger and making it like further its reach, you know? And then it has rippling effects in our culture that we can actually see over timelines with like the degradation of our culture and the influence, like the butterfly effect of the influence of all this Crowleyan shit.
Oh, I mean, totally. I totally agree that like the whole like mindset of the modern woke whatever movement is very like Crowley, and it's all about do what thou wilt. It's like the disembodied self who's not attached to like anything of your birth. You're just like self-creating. You're not like a born into a people or anything like that. You're not like, you're just like you just happen to be born where you are, and like your job is not to like affirm anything natural. It's to like almost go against what is natural and like create yourself,
Mm-hmm.
That's super Crowleyan when you think about it.
Yup. Yeah, do what thou wilt. Yeah, dude, fucking all the Crowleyan philosophy, like the Thelema philosophy is like a narcissist's wet dream. It's just like, you are the center of the universe. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yup. Yeah, and so much of it is just fucking nonsense. But what I'm claiming is that all of that nonsense creates these like thought homunculi. Like I said, like these monsters of imagination that actually do exist in non-physical reality. Like they're like making the demons exist by believing in them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you could also just see the whole thing as an intelligence operation.
Dude, somebody's commenting and he says, I found out about your channel from Reddit and I've been enjoying your content a lot. And I said, thank you so much. I work so hard on it. And he said, I could tell you really bring a lot of good info and research. I'm hooked. That's awesome. Dude, it's working. The channel is working. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think they create these like thought homunculuses and they feed them, and they feed them with rituals and they feed them with mass human sacrifice. I think that's the whole reason we have wars, is because the people that are like calling the shots believe in these occult principles, and they believe that these deities, let's call them, demand blood. And the more people that die, the more powerful these fucking whack jobs believe that they are. And I do think that it's possible that there's an actual intelligence to it. Like, this could actually be where the technology is coming from. Like that fucking meme you sent me earlier about the AI chips. About like, you're fucking, not allowed to know about this. It happens here, but nope, you can't take a video of it, can't see it, can't look at it. Nobody's allowed to know. Like I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if the people that are like actually like the code people and stuff, they're doing the science work, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even know that they're talking to demons. Like they're just like, oh yeah, we just figured something out. But really it's all because of like this ritual that had these rippling effects that led to these discoveries that
okay, but like where's the evidence that any of these technologies emerged like already fully formed? Like you can go and look at the history of all these things and see.
I don't think that they do emerge fully formed. That's what I'm saying. Is I think like the unraveling process of the discovering of these technology methods could be a butterfly effect, ripple effect from conjuring demons during the Babylon working. It's like one thing led to another thing, led to another thing, led to another thing. Really, though, it's being pushed by this intelligence that's non-physical.
Yeah, I mean, people have done a lot of rituals in history, and a lot of them just seem a lot more serious than what Jack Parsons was doing.
I don't see what's not serious about jacking off while your buddy takes notes. Okay, he moved a little bit to the left. Yeah, he's getting more vigorous with it. Man, that's just so far out, man. I hope that you're a good enough friend that you would scribe for me if I asked you. Man. There's been fucking UFOs over Jerusalem. Let me see if I can find an article about that real quick. UFOs over Israel.
Yeah, I saw on that UAP like panel or whatever. They had like a thing of like hot spots.
What the?
It's like the coasts of America, the Middle East around Israel, and like Japan and Korea.
Dude, I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, we just lost Java. Did his phone die? I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. Calling him back.
Yeah.
I was like, did his phone die?
Did not die.
That's good.
We're gonna call up.
So I just found this article. That's interesting that your call dropped right when I was about to read this shit. I was literally like, oh, just
probably because of the aliens.
That's what I'm getting at. This one is from idf.il. And it's Israeli Air Force, Israeli Navy, IAF website.
That sounds like a trustworthy source.
It says, top secret, how the Israel Air Force thwarted an alien invasion. And this is from 2015.
Wow.
Several months ago, a flock of alien spaceships were on their way to invade the planet when advanced Israeli radar systems identified them. It was then up to the technological unit of the Israeli Air Force to thwart the dangerous alien invasion by infiltrating the main spaceship's technological systems and attacking them from within. The soldiers only had 12 hours to hack the systems, gather intelligence, and stop the aliens. What is this?
I mean, I'm glad that's what they're spending our money on. That sounds really important.
Oh, whoa. Okay, this is kind of fucking nuts. This unique and fabricated scenario was part of the Israel Air Force's cyber defense awareness training. They actually did a training scenario of hacking an alien invasion.
Huh.
That's interesting. Each squad within the OFEC, technological unit of the IAF, sent a team of programmers to compete in the event. That took place this year for the 6th time. The teams competed over hacking a previously built system that resembled an alien spaceship while going through different stages of attacking the system. The objective of the event was to let the IAF programmers step into the shoes of their enemies for a day and experience what it's like to hack and attack complex technological systems. Quote, the participants in the event develop operational technological systems for the Air Force on a daily basis, explained the commander of the engineering unit, LT Colonel MEIR Meyer? I don't know. Our goal was to help them understand the importance of secured program development. We wanted to adapt the training to the young and ambitious members of Generation Y. Therefore, we created the storyline of an alien invasion to increase their interest. The cyber threat to Israel has drastically increased in recent years. During Operation Protective Edge, Hamas, the terrorist organization controlling the Gaza Strip, hacked several Israeli civilian communication systems. When enemies hack computerized systems, there are no immediate casualties, no bombs going off, or gunfire heard. It's very difficult to track down hackers and retaliate, making the cyber world an optimal front for terrorist organizations. During the event, the teams competed with each other over hacking a system that we had previously built, said the head of the IAF Cyber Sphere, Maj Gill. As they attempted to hack the systems, they were also required to gather intelligence about the alien spaceships, which was crucial for...
With aliens, does it?
It has everything to do with aliens.
It was just a training exercise. They were using that as like a...
Yeah, but they were training for aliens, bro.
That is kind of wild.
Yeah, and so it says, as they attempted to hack the systems, they were also required to gather intelligence about the alien spaceships, was crucial for its infiltration. Ultimately, if we compare this scenario to the real world, it will help them understand how important it is to protect secret content in the IAF. The Israeli Air Force operates a wide array of advanced technological systems, including UAVs, aerial protection systems, missile interception systems, and more. The threat of hostile infiltration and attacks on these systems is increasingly imminent, yet the IAF remains prepared to cope with it. Sometimes it takes time to recognize and track down intrusions in the cyber world. That's exactly why it's important to prevent the option of infiltration in advance to building programs that are both defensible and secure, emphasized Lieutenant Colonel Meyer. For that purpose, we train our program developers and expose them to the issue. Hopefully, the Israeli Air Force won't be dealing with alien invasions anytime soon, but due to creative training operations like these, the IDF is undeniably prepared to cope with many other serious and real threats. So think about like all the UFO shit that's going on right now and how serious they're taking it. This article is from 2015. We're now in 2024, almost 2025, 10 years later, and they're going batshit crazy about aliens. Like, this could have been them actually trying to prepare for what if aliens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like if things didn't continue to intensify about aliens in the time since then until now, then that would be a nothing burger. But it's like exponentially intensified from then until now. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Why do you think the government has started talking about what they call UAPs?
I think it all ties into Babylon working.
But no, like recently, why didn't it happen? Like they used to be like, oh, we're not going to talk about that. That's crazy. And now the Congress had all these hearings and stuff.
Yeah,
what changed?
I think for years we've been experiencing the degeneration of our society. And I think this is like one of the final steps, man. You know about Project Bluebeam?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's like some sort of attempt to create using some sort of holographic technology that can make stuff look like it's happening in the sky that's not really happening. People theorize that it could be used to make like a fake alien invasion or like a fake second coming or something like that.
The Y-Files did a really good episode about it recently. I'm trying to find a good write-up to that I could read, though. And it's surprisingly hard to find. FBI records, Project Bluebeam. Let's see what this is. Disclaimer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, close. That's enough of that. Project Bluebeam, part 1 of 1. Oh, wow. I just found the fucking document. Here, hold on. I'm going to put this on the screen.
Well, yeah, I think we only know about these things because of, like, documents that were accidentally not destroyed and then got, like, released at some point.
So I'm looking at the document now. This is Project Bluebeam. Or, wait, this is Project Blue Book. Okay, this isn't Bluebeam. This is Blue Book. Blue Book was a disinformation campaign.
Yeah.
And that came after Project Grudge. I do talk about this in my...
There's so many. Did you know that we only know about stuff like MK Ultra because there was like several boxes of documents, like 10,000 documents, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. And that was like less than 5% or maybe even less than 1% of what was actually like created in that time period. And like almost all of it got destroyed, but like they misplaced some of the documents. And then later on, when like the politics of the CIA had changed and then like Congress was investigating it, then they found those documents and they got out. But like what we know about constitutes like a tiny percentage of total volume of documents.
Oh yeah, and it had so many runoff programs as well that were doing even crazier shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is Project Blue Book, the actual document. It says federal government, blah, 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 unidentified flying objects in handwriting, 14th January, looks like 1977. Says this office recently received a public inquiry regarding UFOs referred to us from the Bureau. As the enclosed fact sheet indicates, the Air Force's Project Blue Book, in quotations, investigation of UFOs was terminated on December 17, 1969, and all related documentation was turned over to the National Archives and Records Service. The Inquirer referred to us has been apprised of these events. Hopefully, the enclosed fact sheet will be of help in responding to any future inquiries on this subject. Sincerely, blah, blah, blah. And, dude, I've never seen the actual documents before. This is fuck crazy. Oh, nice, and it scrolls. UFO fact sheet. And this is the next page of this document, right? It says, UFO fact sheet. On December 17th, 1969, the Secretary of the Air Force announced the termination of Project Blue Book, the Air Force program for the investigation of UFOs. The decision to discontinue UFO investigations was based on an evaluation of a report prepared by the University of Colorado entitled, quote, Scientific Study of Unidentified Flying Objects, end quote. A review of the University of Colorado's report by the National Academy of Sciences, past UFO studies, and Air Force experience investigating UFO reports during the past 2 decades. As a result of these investigations and studies and experience gained from investigating UFO reports since 1948, the conclusion of Project Blue Book are 1. No UFO reported, investigated, and evaluated by the Air Force has ever given any indication of threat to our national security. 2. There has been no evidence submitted to or discovered by the Air Force that sightings categorized as unidentified represent technological developments or principles beyond the range of present-day scientific knowledge. And 3, there has been no evidence indicating that sightings categorized as, quote, unidentified are extraterrestrial vehicles. With the termination of Project Blue Book, the Air Force regulation establishing and controlling the program for investigating and analyzing UFOs was rescinded. All documentation regarding the former Blue Book investigation has been permanently transferred to the modern military branch, National Archives and Records Service, 8th and Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. 20408, and is available for public review and analysis. Attached for your information is the Project Blue Book sighting summary for the period 1947 to 1969. Also included is a listing of UFO-related materials currently available. Since the termination of Project Blue Book, no evidence has been presented to indicate that further investigation of UFOs by the Air Force is warranted. In view of the considerable Air Force commitment of resources in the past and the extreme pressure on Air Force funds at this time, there is no likelihood of renewed Air Force involvement in this area. And then it has total UFO sightings, 1947 to 1969. Total sightings in 1947, 122. 1948, 156. 1949, 186. 1950, 210. 1951, 169. 1952, 1,501 sightings. 1953, 509. 1954, 487. 55 was 545. 1956 was 670. And then 1957 was 1,006 sightings. And then 1958 was 627. 1959 was 390. 1960 was 557. 61 was 591. 1962 was 474. 1963 was 399. 1964 was 562. 1965 was 887. 1966 was 1,112. 1967 was 937. 1968 was 375. And 1969 was 146. That's a lot of sightings. 12,618 sightings.
Yeah. No, I mean, people definitely see stuff in the sky. That's for sure. Stuff that we don't know what it is. That's definitely happening.
And then it also has number of things that were identified. And you'll have the first one, 1947, it's 122. Only 12 of them were identified. In 1952, when 1,500 sightings happened, only 300 of them were identified. Like, the vast majority of them remained unidentified. And then Project Blue Book is like, yeah, it was nothing. There's no evidence of anything. And then, meanwhile, Project Blue Book ended in 1969 and was disclosed in 1977. And we never stopped researching UFOs. The Air Force never stopped paying attention to them, never stopped being concerned about them.
Of course.
But Blue Book says it's nothing.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can find Project Blue Beam, though. What the fuck? Not touching that. Blue Beam. Dude, Project Blue Beam is so hard to find. It seems like it's intentionally obfuscated by Project Blue Book. So the guy who promoted the theory has a fucking wiki. Okay. That's interesting. So Serge Monast, 1945 to 1996, was a Quebecois conspiracy theorist. Quebecois? Is that from Quebec?
Yeah.
He is mostly known for his promotion of the Project Bluebeam conspiracy theory, which posits a plot to facilitate a totalitarian world government by destroying Abrahamic religions, replacing them with a New Age belief system using futuristic NASA technology and involving a fake alien invasion or fake extraterrestrial encounter meant to deceive nations into uniting under a world government. And what's really interesting about this...
That's the thing people talk about, yeah.
And what's interesting about this is every single little talking point on his Wikipedia page has a click-through link. Quebecois has a fucking click-through link. Conspiracy theorist has a click-through link. Fucking world government has a click-through link. Abrahamic religions has a click-through link. New Age has a click-through link. NASA has a click-through link. Guess what doesn't? Project Bluebeam doesn't.
Oh, because they're saying he made it up.
Yeah, but they have all sorts of shit that people made up. Has its own page on Wikipedia. To the tune of millions.
Wikipedia is so censored these days.
Well, that's my point, is like everywhere you try to look for this story, you find fucking shit about Blue Book instead of Blue Beam. Unless you watch a video, which I'm not doing. I'm trying to find something I can read.
Interesting, because Blue Book is about aliens being real. Or no, it's not, but
Blue Book is about the government investigated UFOs for 2 decades and then said, nothing to see here. Meanwhile, Project Blue Beam is this alleged agenda to have a fake alien invasion, and it all revolves around the Antichrist. And like I said, there's a bunch of YouTube videos about it. This one says unavailable. There's a bunch of videos about it, but I'm having a hard time finding an article about it. Times of India. I wonder if that has a pay-through link. Fucking pay to read link bullshit.
Yeah.
Come on. This is not an article. This is a paragraph, you sons of bitches. I hate that. Project Blue Beam is blah, 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 blah. Where's the rest of the fucking article? You bastards. Terrible website. Economic Times. U.S. shoots down mystery objects. Speculations over aliens. Project Blue Beam grow. What the hell is this about? When did we shoot down mystery objects? This is from 2023. I wonder if this is if they're talking about the Chinese balloons. Did we shoot one of them down? We did. We shot it down over the ocean, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, ever since the U.S. shot down mystery objects in February, there have been rumors that the object might be an alien spaceship. However, there has been no official confirmation about the nature of unidentified flying objects which were shot down, according to a Daily Star report. American fighter jets shot down 4 high-altitude objects in airspace.
Oh, this is not the same as the balloon.
Okay. American fighter jets shot down 4 high-altitude objects in airspace above the U.S. and Canada starting from February 4th. While the February 4th spy balloon was linked to China, other 3 objects sighted over Canada, Michigan, and Alaska are yet to be classified. While interacting with media, U.S. Air Force General Glenn Van Herk has revealed that intelligence services were looking into all possibilities as per the Daily Star report. Subsequently, there have been talks about a bizarre theory, Project Blue Beam, on social media. Project Blue Beam is a long-standing but unproven conspiracy theory. Canadian investigative journalist Serge Menast first talked about the theory in the mid-1990s, which he died in 96. He talked about this and then died.
I mean...
The theory...
Was he old?
Huh?
Was he old?
He better not have been. The theory, which has resurfaced again, claimed that the project was created by agents of the Pentagon and the NASA.
The NASA?
Yeah, the NASA.
The NASA?
In 1994, Menast alleged in an investigation piece that the United Nations and NASA were aiming to create, quote, New Age religion, quote. Menast was arrested twice in 95 and 96. He died of a heart attack. After his death, the theory remained... And so he's one of the people that people say got killed with a heart attack gun, by the way. After his death, the theory remained popular that there was no evidence or proof to substantiate the allegations. Is it... And then... Wow, it doesn't get into it. Dude, his whole theory is a fucking hour long, and I can't find any article.
Did he write a book? Did he write a book? Where does it come from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a book, yeah.
So what's the book?
I don't fucking... Man, making me look up shit. He had the Toronto Protocols, Le Gouvernement Mondial Day, The Greatest Hoax, NASA's Project Blue Beam. And then, Project Blue Beam. Out of stock. Project Blue Beam. found it on rationalwiki.com. Have you ever heard of this website?
No.
It looks exactly like Wikipedia, and it seems to be for conspiracy theorists.
Nice.
Yeah. Project Bluebeam. For the UFO study done by same people, see Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory which claims that NASA is attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technologically simulated second coming. The allegations were presented in 1994 by Quebecois journalist and conspiracy theorist Serge Monast, and later published in his book Project Bluebeam, NASA. Proponents of the theory allege that Monast and another unnamed journalist, who both died of heart attacks in 1996, were in fact assassinated, and that the Canadian government kidnapped Monast's daughter in an effort to dissuade him from investigating Project Bluebeam. The project was apparently supposed to be implemented in 1983, but it didn't happen. It was then set for implementation in 1995 and then 1996, and it still didn't happen. Finally, Monast thought that Project Bluebeam would be brought to fruition by the year 2000, and well, you can probably guess the rest. And then, some water. Project Bluebeam has all the usual hallmarks of a conspiracy theory. It attempts to shoehorn events that have happened and are happening into its predictive framework, particularly with references to films being used to prepare people psychologically for the conspiracy's dramatic conclusion. So this is worded in a very anti-conspiracy way.
Well, it's anti-this conspiracy.
It shows a lack of comprehension of the practical psychology of those who are not paranoid. It plays on fears of alleged advanced technology that most people, including its author, do not understand. The theory cobbles together past conspiracy tropes, starting from paranoia and progressing to technologically implausible plans, with motivations that literally do not make any sense. The primary theorist's death from a middle-age heart attack cut off is possible spread early and left it short on source material in English, though there is the tantalizing promise of several books worth it in French. But did Cap...
It makes sense why you can't find them.
Mm-hmm. But did cap the theory off nicely. Theory is widely popular for conspiracy theory on the internet, with many web pages dedicated to the subject and countless YouTube videos explaining it. The actual source material, however, is very thin indeed. Monast lectured on the theory in the mid-1990s. A transcript of one such lecture is widely available. Before writing and publishing his book, which has not been reissued by his current publisher and is all but unobtainable. However, a 3-page summary of the theory, apparently penned by Monast himself, appeared in his French-language periodical RINF, Reçoit International de Nouvelles Publiques, at the end of 1994. The currently available pages and videos all appear to trace back to 4 documents. A transcript of the 1994 lecture by Monast translated into English, a GeoCities page written by David Oppenheimer and which appears to draw on the original book, a page on educateyourself.org compiled in 2005, which appears to include a translation of the book from the French, Monast's page in French Wikipedia. The French Wikipedia article is largely sourced from 2 books on conspiracy theories and extremism by Pierre-André Teguieff, a mainstream academic expert on racist and extremist groups. I don't like him.
Sounds trustworthy.
From these few texts that have come a flood of green ink in text and video form in several languages. Even the French language material typically does not cite the original book, but the English language pages on educateyourself.org, however, conspiracy theorists seem to use quantity as a measure of substance, such as alternative medicine uses appeal to alternative medicine uses and appeal to tradition. And never mind the extremely few sources it all traces back to. Proponents of the theory, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Proponents of the theory have extrapolated it to embrace HARP, 911, and Norwegian Spiral, chemtrails, FEMA concentration camps, and Tupac Shakur. Everything is part of Project Bluebeam. It's well on its way to becoming the unified conspiracy theory. Which it kind of is.
This is what happens to any. I mean, it's like a worldview. It becomes more and more of an encompassing of a worldview. It has to have an answer for everything. That's its own answer.
Behold a Pale Horse. William Cooper's 1991 green ink magnum opus is considered a prime claim of, hence supporting evidence for, Bluebeam by advocates. The book is where a vast quantity of now common conspiracy memes actually came from. So retrospectively claiming it as prior evidence is somewhere between cherry picking and the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. However, the following quotes intersect slightly with the specific themes of Bluebeam. End quote. It is true that without the population or the bomb problem, the elect would use some other excuse to bring about the New World Order. They have plans to bring about things like earthquakes, war, the Messiah, an extraterrestrial landing, and economic collapse. They might bring about all of these things just to make damn sure that it does work. They will do whatever is necessary to succeed. The Illuminati has all the bases covered, and you are going to have to be on your toes to make it through the coming years. And then the second quote says, can you imagine what will happen if Los Angeles is hit with a 9.0 earthquake? New York City is destroyed by a terrorist-planted atomic bomb. World War III breaks out in the Middle East. The banks and the stock markets collapse. Extraterrestrials land on the White House lawn. Food disappears from the markets. Some people disappear. The Messiah presents himself to the world, and all in a very short period of time. Can you imagine? The world power structure can and will, if necessary, make some or all of those things happen to bring about the New World Order. And then the theory. Without a universal belief in the New Age religion, the success of the New World Order will be impossible. Quote, the alleged purpose of Project Bluebeam is to bring about a global New Age religion, which is seen as a core requirement for the New World Order's dictatorship to be realized. There's nothing new in thinking of religion as a form of control, but the existence of multiple religions, spin-off cults, competing sects, and atheists suggest that controlling the population entirely through a single religion isn't particularly easy. Past attempts have required mechanisms of totalitarianism such as the Inquisition. Monast's theory, however, suggests using sufficiently advanced technology to trick people into believing. Of course, the plan would have to assume that people could never fathom the trick at all, something contested by anyone sane enough not to swallow this particular conspiracy. The primary claimed perpetrator of Project Bluebeam is NASA, presented as a large and mostly faceless organization that can readily absorb such frankly odd accusations aided by the United Nations, another old-time boogeyman of conspiracy theorists. According to Monast, the project has 4 steps. Step 1. Get underpants. Step 2. Step 1. Requires the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. This will, think of like the sacking of Mosul in, I think it was 2014 by ISIS. Remember that?
Yeah.
This will apparently be accomplished by faking earthquakes at precise locations around the planet. Fake, quote, new discoveries at these locations, quote, will finally explain to all people the error of all fundamental religious doctrines, quote, specifically Christian and Muslim doctrines. This makes some degree of sense. If you want to thoroughly usurp a current way of thinking, you need to completely discredit and destroy it before putting forward your own. However, religious belief is notoriously resilient to things like facts. The Shroud of Turin is a famous example that is still believed by many to be a genuine Shroud of Jesus as opposed to the medieval forgery that has been conclusively shown to be.
Didn't people test it this year and they concluded that it actually was as old as people said it was?
I thought so, yeah. Let's look that up. New evidence testing the shroud.
Yeah, nuclear engineer says latest research confirms first century date of Shroud of Turin. And then the New York Post, Shroud of Turin was not used to wrap Jesus' body after crucifixion, bombshell study asserts. How would you know? How would you prove that?
Right?
I mean, I get how you tell how old a piece of cloth is, but did they have a Jesus-o-meter?
I would say, if anything, this gives credibility to the claim. The Shroud of Turin is a linen burial cloth woven in a distinctive 3-1 herringbone pattern, spanning approximately 14 feet 3 inches in length and 3 feet 7 inches in width. The single piece of cloth features detailed front and back images of a man who appears to have been crucified. A journey through time with the Shroud of Turin. Venerated as the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, the Shroud of Turin first gained public attention in 1355 when it was showcased in Lyre, France. Its significance has drawn large crowds and even led to the creation of souvenir medallions, one of which is now housed at the Cluny Museum in Paris. The Shroud of Turin undergoes unprecedented scientific scrutiny. No other relic has been subjected to as much scientific investigation as the Shroud of Turin. These studies aim to uncover the origins of the cloth and the enigmatic nature of the images it bears. Key features of the Shroud of Turin. 1. The image. The shroud bears a faint sepia outline of a crucified man, complete with dark brown stains that contain confirmed AB blood particles. The anatomical details align closely with the scourging and crucifixion descriptions in the Gospels. 2. Facial details. The image reveals a man with a beard, mustache, and shoulder-length hair parted in the middle. Estimates... What'd you say?
What are you reading from?
I'm reading from the Magus Center.
And who are they?
Some cool people that get straight to the facts.
I'm sure they don't have any kind of dog in the fight, right?
Well, are you claiming my channel is biased? Are you attacking my content?
I'm just saying, who is that?
They're the Magus Center.
It could be anybody. What's their agenda?
I think they have a royal, majestic Magus Center agenda. Face details. The image reveals a man with a beard, mustache, and shoulder-length hair parted in the middle. Estimates of his height range between 5 foot 7 inches and 6 foot 2. Notably, close examination of photographic negatives has shown coins placed over the man's eyes. Breakthrough scientific discoveries regarding the Shroud of Turin. Scientific exploration of the shroud's image began in earnest with the 1898 photographs, which surprisingly revealed the image as a photographic negative. In 1978, the Shroud of Turin Research Project, STURP, confirmed that the image was not created by dyes, chemicals, vapors, scorching, or brush strokes. This has led researchers to explore several naturalistic explanations, none of which fully account for the image's unique features. Leading hypotheses. John Jackson hypothesis 2008 proposed that vacuum ultraviolet radiation could explain the image formation. And Paulo Di Lazzaro's research in 2010 conducted experimental validations of Jackson's hypothesis, offering further insights into the potential mechanisms behind the shroud's image. And then dive deeper into the Shroud of Turin. For more detailed insights and to uncover further mysteries of the Shroud of Turin, explore these articles in the series. Blah, blah, blah. The mission of the Magus Center is to create content that helps people find higher purpose in life, an awareness of their transcendent dignity, a sense of the transcendent providential power who guides them, and a determination to live ethically responsible lives. To that end, the Magus Center produces and distributes media that provides contemporary commentary on timeless topics. So that's what they are.
Okay, I found the thing about like what the newest thing is about, though.
Yeah, read it.
It's actually like the scientific paper. It's taking a long time to load.
I gotta stop my dog from booping. Hold on a second.
Dog beeping?
Booping.
You gotta change the 9-volt.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't hear it when she beeps. I can only hear it when she boops. Dude, there's a whole bunch of videos of people flipping out about Trump with their fucking smoke alarms going off. This is like, dude, I can't take you seriously. And you know where I stand about black people. I fucking love black people. But god damn it.
Who said anything about black people?
Oh, I did, because they're all black.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You
all.
noticed that? You noticed that?
It's all black people not changing their smoke alarms in the videos.
Yeah.
White people just remove the whole smoke alarm.
Yeah. Or they change the battery. It's two different kinds of white people, I guess.
I was just gonna say I'm not that kind of white.
But that's the divide. There's two kinds of white people.
Yup. Yeah, I get fucking pissed. I stand on a chair and I remove the damn smoke alarm.
Yep, that's that kind of white people.
Yup. I consider shooting it with a gun, but then I think about the people upstairs. So, did you get this shit to load yet?
On a sample of the Turin Shroud, we applied a new method for dating ancient linen threads by inspecting their structural degradation by means of wide-angle X-ray scattering, waxes. The X-ray dating method was applied to a sample of the TS consisting of a thread taken in proximity of the 1988 radiocarbon area, corner of the Turin Shroud, corresponding to the feet area of the frontal image near the so-called Reyes sample. The size of the linen sample was about 0.5 millimeter by 1 millimeter. We obtained one-dimensional integrated waxes data profiles for the TS sample, which were fully compatible with the analogous measurements obtained on a linen sample whose dating, according to the historical records, is 55 to 74 AD, Siege of Masada, Israel. The degree of natural aging of the cellulose that constitutes the linen of the investigated sample obtained by X-ray analysis showed that the Turin shroud fabric is much older than the 7th centuries proposed by the 1988 radiocarbon dating.
Blammo.
The experimental is also compatible with the hypothesis that the Turin shroud is a 2,000-year-old relic.
All right, so a piece of cloth and aliens are making me start believing in Jesus.
I mean, all that means is that the cloth is indeed old.
Yeah, and it means that they lied to cover it up because it's real. Dude, did you see the recent Q drop? It was all about the cloth.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I have to disclaim that one quick.
It was in Italy that they concluded this, so.
I mean, of course, it was probably the Vatican that did the fucking research. Dude, the Vatican has some of the most advanced science in the world. You know that, right?
Technically, I saw on Wikipedia it said that the Catholic Church neither confirms nor denies the Shroud of Turin.
Yeah, they also neither confirm.
They don't claim that it's holy, and they don't like deny that it's holy either.
You know what else they don't confirm nor deny?
A lot of things.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Specifically, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, here let me.
Say that they're demons or whatever.
Here, let me look it up.
You should find like 1-800 dial a priest.
What is the Catholic Church? What is the Catholic position on the existence of aliens?
Yes.
There is no Catholic position on the existence of aliens as such. Whether life exists on other planets is a scientific, not a theological question. If alien life on other planets is ever discovered, there are theological questions which can be considered. In his novel Paralandra, C.S. Lewis speculated about the possibility of a fallen race such as ours influencing unfallen extraterrestrials. We were affected by the fallen angel Satan. There's nothing in the Bible to say humanity couldn't have a similar effect on another race. On the other hand, we might also play a part in the redemption of another race, a role in their salvation history. The good angels play... So the Catholic stance is we want to convert the aliens.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, are they Catholic? They could be, though.
They'll let anybody join.
Yeah.
Oh, man. On the other hand, we might also play a part in the redemption of another race, a role in their salvation history. The good angels played an important part in ours. Blah, 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 acts, blah, blah, blah. It's possible God has set up multiple worlds, some fallen, some not. But there's not the slightest scientific evidence that he has. A few scientists pandering to the tabloids claim extraterrestrials must exist, based on the mathematical likelihood of other stars having planets, but their theories are scoffed at by nearly the entire scientific community. The argument runs like this. If some of those planets have atmospheres like Earth's, and if some of those Earth-like planets spontaneously generate amino acids, and if some of those amino acids result in higher life forms, then intelligent life exists on other worlds. You'll note a lot of ifs there. To insist there must be intelligent life elsewhere in the universe is to overstate the case. It's also theologically irrelevant because the central tenets of Christianity remain intact with or without little green men. And that's from Catholic.com.
I was looking for We Gotta Conquer Space to drive out the heathens for the God Emperor, but...
Looking up the Pope's stance on aliens.
We gotta conquer space for Jesus.
Oh, I like this. God versus aliens inside the Vatican's high-stakes UFO hunt. Oh, hell yeah. This is pretty new, too. This is from October 8th of this year. Earlier this year, God vs. Aliens premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. The documentary, directed by award-winning filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, shines a light on the Vatican's secretive investigations into UFOs. It suggests in no uncertain terms that the Vatican has been quietly exploring extraterrestrial phenomena for years. Lee, to his credit, raises some fascinating questions about how the Church views the unknown. The documentary argues that recent Vatican guidelines on apparitions, which have stirred much debate, may signal a deeper understanding of UFOs. According to Lee, these guidelines imply that the Church isn't merely considering UFOs as physical objects from another world, but also entertaining the possibility that they could involve paranormal or supernatural elements. This idea isn't as outrageous as it might seem. The Vatican has a history of grappling with cosmic questions. For centuries, the Church has been involved in discussions about the nature of the universe and our place within it. In the 16th century, Giordano Bruno, a Jesuit priest and astronomer, proposed that the universe was filled with countless other worlds. His radical ideas led to his execution, reflecting the tension between emerging scientific views and established religious beliefs. During more recent times, the Vatican has approached the question of extraterrestrial life with caution. Church officials have suggested that discovering life beyond Earth wouldn't necessarily conflict with Christian teachings. Instead, it could enhance our understanding of God's creation. This view has been reflected in the work of various Vatican-affiliated scholars who continue to explore cosmic phenomena. However, Lee's documentary introduces a more intriguing and somewhat unsettling idea that the Vatican, along with certain governmental agencies, might perceive UFOs not just as unknown vehicles, but potentially as entities of a darker nature. Some researchers speculate that the Church's involvement in UFO research might be part of a broader effort to cover up the truth, perhaps because the reality of these phenomena is too disturbing for the public to handle. The theory suggests that while we might be open to the idea of extraterrestrial life, the notion of beings from other dimensions or realms could be too unsettling for us to grasp. In simpler terms, our primitive instincts might struggle to comprehend the full impact of such a revelation. Our brains would struggle to compute the potential consequences. Not my brain. The idea of UFOs having supernatural or demonic origins reflects a historical pattern of interpreting the unknown through a spiritual lens. Across cultures and religions, encounters with the unexplained have often been framed in terms of moral or supernatural significance. This pattern can be seen in various religious traditions beyond Christianity. For instance, in Islam, there are references to jinn, supernatural beings that exist alongside humans. While jinn are not exactly the same as extraterrestrial beings, they represent an acknowledgement of non-human entities that exist in a different realm. Some interpretations of Islamic texts suggest that encounters with jinn could be akin to UFO sightings, viewed through a religious and supernatural framework. Hinduism, with its innumerable deities and cosmic beings, also provides a context for understanding encounters with the unknown. Ancient Hindu texts describe various flying machines and celestial beings, which some modern readers interpret as possible references to advanced technology or extraterrestrial life. The concept...
They say that it's extraterrestrial life in the Indian text, so they say humans have those flying machines.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm of the opinion that
and the gods too, but
I'm of the opinion that the aliens, like the Greys and the Nordics and whatever, the tall whites, I think if they are real, which they very well might be with how much fucking weird shit there is about this shit, if they are real, my theory is that they are time traveling humans. That's my theory.
The Greys or the tall whites?
Both.
What's the difference then?
They're just different, different technologies. Like, I think time traveling humans would be able to engineer different types of bodies, and also would evolve into different species. Like, we wouldn't stay human. We'd probably branch off into multiple species,
Why do you think they're time travelers?
Well, I think the ones that are running the whatever, would be time travelers, and then there would be people that evolved linearly, right? And so like those would be the grays and the tall whites and whatever. Like those could be like branch off species that started as humans, and millions of years from now that's what we look like.
They wouldn't even need to be time travelers for that to be the case.
Well, those wouldn't be time travelers. The ones that are the shot callers would be the time travelers, and those I think would be more similar to us.
I've always thought it's interesting that when we see like what appears to be advanced craft that we don't have, like we don't know of any humans having those capabilities. That I mean, we sort of necessarily assume it's from space, but like, do we even know the Earth that well?
Well, and that's another thing too, is if they were time traveling humans, they would have a huge vested interest in Earth, right? And it would very much make a lot of sense that they would hang out around Earth. They would be in all sorts of secret places on the Earth and surrounding the Earth. Like I could see them being on the moon, having a moon base. I could see them having an underwater base. I could see them having a whole shitload of underground bases. Like it would totally make sense to me if like all the like think of like fucking Raven Rock and how we have 300,000 government employees accounted for inside of Raven Rock. We have a person for every person in the government, a replacement for them who lives full. What'd you say?
What's Raven Rock?
You don't know about Raven Rock? Raven Rock is in the mountains in Pennsylvania. Here, let me put it on the screen. Second. So Raven Rock
Mountain Complex. Site R. Sounds very ominous.
It is. So Raven Rock Mountain Complex, also known as Site R, is a U.S. military installation with an underground nuclear bunker near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania. At Raven Rock Mountain, that has been called an underground Pentagon. The bunker has emergency operations centers for the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps, along with Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center in Virginia and the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado. It formed the core bunker complexes for the U.S. continuity of government plan during the Cold War to survive a nuclear attack. The installation's largest tenant unit is the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, and RRMC communications are the responsibility of the 114th Signal Battalion. The facility has 38 communication systems, and the Defense Information Systems Agency provides computer services at the complex. Raven Rock Mountain is adjacent to Jack's Mountain on the north, while Miney Branch follows west to east between them in the Potomac River watershed. The 1820 Waynesboro-Emmitsburg Turnpike with toll station for the 1787 crossroad was constructed between the mountains, where the fight at Monterey Gap was conducted after the 1863 Battle of Gettysburg. So this place is haunted as shit, too. Stuart's artillery at Raven Rock Gap shelled federal troops. In 1870, copper ore was discovered to the north, and the nearby Fountaindale Springs House was established in 1874. The scenic area's mountain recreation facilities to the west included the 1877 Penn Mar Park, the 1878 High Rock Tower, the 1885 Monterey Country Club, and several resorts, example Blue Mountain House, Buena Vista Springs Hotels, and Washington Cliff House. 1989, Jack's Mountain Tunnel and the Western Extension Baltimore and Harrisburg Railway was completed near Raven Rock Mountain, and nearby stations were at Blue Ridge Summit and Charmian. The Army's 1942 Camp Ritchie was built southwest of the resorts, and a local road was built eastward from Blue Ridge Summit and intersected the north-south Fountaindale-Sabillasville Road. The intersection now provides access to the RMC main gate. Planning for a protective Cold War facility near Washington, D.C. began in 1948 for relocation of military National Command authorities and the Joint Communications Service.
Oh yeah, I knew it was in the show Jeremiah.
That's
it's
cool.
It's the Valhalla sector. If you go to Unpopular Culture.
Says automatic activation. After the 1954 Air Defense Command blockhouse was built at Ent Air Force Base, where the joint 1955 Continental Air Defense Command was activated. In August 1955, OSD approved the automatic activation of Raven Rock's alternate Joint Communications Center on declaration of air defense warning or notice of surprise attack. SAC similarly completed a bunker in 1955. The AJCC was equipped with command and control C-squared hardware by the end of 1955. It's got a war room in it.
Yep. I saw in the when the government took the land, it's like the declaration of taking for United States of America versus 1,100 acres of land.
Mm-hmm.
We've issued a declaration of taking.
When they took Raven Rock?
Yeah, the original piece of land from.
Wow, a declaration of taking. They're like,
declaration of taking.
We're taking this.
We're taking this. We're taking this. Here we gave you a declaration of taking. Now it's legal.
That's hilarious, man.
There you go. There's a declaration of taking.
Yeah, no, the document straight up said we're taking it. We're not trying to hide this at all. Now give us the shit.
It says that Dick Cheney went there a lot.
I believe that. Did you see what he said when fucking Sacha Baron Cohen asked him what his favorite war was?
Yeah. They're all pretty good.
He's like, yeah, he's like, they're all great, but
they're all great. Yeah.
He's like, but
favorite,
if I had to pick my favorite, I'd have to say Desert Storm. Desert Storm was the best. We got to test out all this new tech.
Oh yeah, that is what he says. Yeah.
Uh-huh. He was like frothing at the mouth over reminiscing Desert Storm. Yeah.
Oh, it's the weapons we got to test on people.
Uh-huh. On people. Yeah. A fucking psycho, dude.
I mean, how else are you supposed to know, how it works?
Yeah, how you gonna know, guy?
Well, it's like it's in all of the post-apocalyptic things, which makes sense,
Raven
so
Rock?
you start thinking about making a post-apocalyptic world, you're like, well, they survived probably.
Yeah. It's in Terminator. It's in everything. The thing about this, we know about Raven Rock. What the fuck don't we know about?
Of course, yeah.
Like if we know about Raven Rock, therefore we can conclude Raven Rock is the tip of the iceberg. And knowing that Raven Rock is the tip of the iceberg, then I fucking look at outlandish conspiracy theories like Project Bluebeam, and I'm like, that doesn't seem so outlandish all of a sudden. They have Raven Rock. And they let us know that they have it.
Look at with the Project Bluebeam, it just seems like I don't get what's the technology that he's saying exists.
Computer chips.
The second coming.
Computer chips.
I mean, aliens would be pretty easy because they just have to have like a classified new kind of aircraft.
So to fake the second coming, the way that that's described is a lot of the tech we don't know what it is yet. First off, like that's granted, right? But some of the theorized methods are using like holograms or holographs, like holographic technology to
I know that's what they say. I don't know what is that. What does that mean?
So that's one of the ways that skeptics pick apart this conspiracy is they're like, well, you know, if they were using holographic technology, there would be trace rays and stuff, you know, like you'd be able to see that it's being projected, right? Well, that's true with the holographic technology that we know to exist. I would expect that DARPA has holographic technology that doesn't leave traces.
Right, but that's I mean, that's true, but you don't want to let that become like an unfalsifiable thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my experience, people who talk about how everything is a hologram are like pretty nuts. Like the people who say that like no planes hit the World Trade Center.
What, you think they did?
I think planes hit the World Trade Center, yeah.
They didn't hit the Pentagon, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, but there's like so many separate videos of them hitting the World Trade Center.
Where's the video of them hitting the Pentagon?
There's 5 frames of one.
Really? In those frames, it looks kind of like an ICBM.
I mean, that's what you see.
You're starting to sound like one of those people who believes in Project Bluebeam.
That's what you see because you're soft on terrorism.
You sound like one of those people who believes in Project Bluebeam. There's like these imaginary terrorists just flew into the Pentagon. Yeah. You're not fooling me, bub. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me, can't get fooled again.
That's right.
That's right. But yeah, I would expect, you know, like whatever technology is gonna be used in Project Bluebeam, if it's real. Disclaimer. Whatever technology they would use wouldn't be technology we've seen. None of it would be technology that we've seen. That'd be the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And the shit that fucking DARPA has its fingers in, dude, is unfathomable. Like, literally unfathomable. Like, there's been rumors for well over a decade. There have been rumors that DARPA has and uses and has a synthetic human brain. As in, a machine-made brain that is based off of human physiology and has thoughts and thinks and has a self.
Yeah.
And they talk to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're putting most of their efforts into AI and things like that.
Yeah, this is beyond AI. This is machine consciousness. You know, supposedly they have that. And
yeah, but to really break people's brains, you would need more than that. You would need like nanotech. That can do like anything.
Yeah, and I would
all the rules. That would break people's brains, and they would be able to accept a new.
I would expect DARPA does have nanotech. Like,
yeah, not like that yet. I don't think.
I don't know, man. They're DARPA, dude. Like you go into the DARPA building. Have you ever seen like the opening scenes in like Men in Black, like when they walk into like the Men in Black office and like it's like
is that where you're getting your information?
Dude, it's got like the music and then you go through all these doors and like doo, 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 and then you come into like a big office room and there's like all these really friendly aliens and stuff. That's DARPA.
That's DARPA.
That's what it's like, dude. No, I've talked to people, man. Like, that's what it's like. I've seen it. I've seen Men in Black. No, but they supposedly have a synthetic human brain. They verifiably have been involved in cloning research for decades now.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, like fucking, they verifiably have conducted anti-gravity research for decades.
Yeah, they invented Bitcoin.
That's not verified, but yeah.
No, I mean, but it seems, I don't know, maybe not. But
You know what Satoshi means?
Well, yeah, that's what people say, but
No, I'll look it up right now. It's Yakimoto, right?
Satoshi Nakamoto means Central Intelligence. Is that the?
It's Nakamoto. No.
Yeah.
No. Here, hold on.
Yes. With an N.
Who created Bitcoin? Let's look that up. Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay. Here, hold on. Translated to English. Clever, witty, clever. Satoshi means clever, witty, clever. Naka means medium, inner, or relationship. Moto means origin or foundation. Those things would all apply to the person who founded a movement by designing a clever algorithm.
Oh, it doesn't mean Central Intelligence. It's
No.
just like a clever play on words.
It means medium, inner, so centralized, clever or witty, so intelligence, and then origin, foundation, etc., which could be organization. Like, they're all synonyms to Central Intelligence Organization or Central Intelligence Agency.
You got any gallium?
Gallium?
Yeah.
Here, let me check.
Germanium or antimony?
Gallium, eBay.
Because it's about to get more expensive.
You can get 50 grams of it for $60 on eBay.
Well, China's not exporting any more of it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's used in high-end electronics with military applications.
Oh, fuck. They need it for their flying saucers.
Exactly. And same with germanium and antimony.
Isn't gallium, like, really heavy?
Gallium's a really weird element that melts at like 80 degrees.
Oh, it's that one. It's the one that's like mercury.
Yeah, but it's safe.
Yeah, I've heard.
It has another really weird property where it can like flow into the structure of like steel or aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
And it like weakens it.
Oh, wow.
And then you can break it apart with your hands. It's super weird.
I've heard theories about there being the way that these flying saucers do their anti-gravity is with like a spinning, like a centrifuge, like a particle accelerator, except full of like liquid metal, like mercury.
And then people link that to the mercury that's been found in the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
South America.
I'm wondering if the Chinese flying saucers run on gallium.
I think you're stretching. I think we know.
No, we need to buy up the supply available on eBay before the aliens get it. Every link I see, I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
And when the feds show up, I'm gonna tell them I'm stopping the aliens. You should be thanking me.
That's right. Oh man, I started watching the Mirage Man.
Oh yeah, dude, isn't that
so
shit
sad? He was just like, I really want to help, guys.
I know, he was such a nice dude.
He's like, I really want to protect America and the base. I found these signals. And they're like, oh fuck, you found signals. Okay, time to gaslight him till he goes crazy.
Dude, for decades.
And then he would be like, I found some more stuff. And they're like, oh shit. He photographed another classified thing. We have to keep gaslighting him. And they would gaslight him more. And then he'd be like, I went up in my plane and I photographed something that crashed. He'd be like, oh fuck, that was our experimental drone. People aren't supposed to know that drones exist yet. We have to gaslight him even more.
But they're from the
gaslight him, the more classified projects he stumbles onto.
But they're from the planet Serpo. But Serpo! We have to stop Serpo! Dude. It is so fucked and sad. You're right. It's sad. Poor guy. He was a nice guy. He was just a nerd with some radio towers.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. And he lived right across the street from the base. Like, he had a visual view of the base from his front porch. Like, step outside your house, there's the runway. Like,
yeah.
You can look at it. Yup.
Well, yeah, because he was a pilot, too.
And yeah, and they were working on the SR-71. I don't think they were flying it out of there even necessarily, because I think you would have seen it, you know? But they were working on it there. They were doing stuff about it. I don't know why
they couldn't have just, like, hired him.
That's what I'm saying. That's
so trustworthy. He was like a pilot and a World War II veteran.
Dude, if I was the government, that would have been exactly what I would have done if I was the government.
Like, okay, come work.
I would have just been like, hey, man, you stumbled on some top secret shit. You are now hereby held by law to hold these secrets. You fucking leak these secrets, you're going to jail, buddy. This is the U.S. government.
Well, he wasn't going to.
That's what I'm saying.
Security immediately.
Yeah, he was a veteran. He was a good guy. He would have been like, oh, duty heard. You know, like, do what I'm told. I'm a fucking veteran.
The craziest thing, he wasn't even not trustworthy. He demonstrated that he wasn't going to leak anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they...
I think we should destroy his life.
I think they saw it as an opportunity to test out their manipulation techniques.
I think, yeah, probably. And then at a certain point, they were like, we've discredited this guy so much, we can use our crazy new technique and try out our crazy new gaslighting techniques on him. And no one believes this guy anyway, so we can do whatever we want, you know, like...
Yup.
It said, like, the other agencies, like the NSA, were also fucking with him, too.
Yup.
Once they heard about it, they were just like, oh, we should also go fuck with this guy. It's crazy. I'm only 24 minutes in, but...
Dude, it's so good. It's a really well done documentary, too. I don't know if Netflix produced that one, but I know it was originally on Netflix, and whoever made it, it's a very well done documentary. I like that, and I like fucking, you've seen the one about the Rajneesh commune, yeah?
No, I haven't.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just say, I honestly, of all the documentary series that I've seen, right? Fucking, that's the best one. Wild Wild Country, about the Rajneesh commune, is...
I know, I've heard about it.
It is so artfully done. It is like, wow. And the way that it tells the story, it lays the foundation, and it gets you to, like, actually care about the cult. And to be like, oh, wow, what a nice cult. And then they're like, bam, they're evil. And you're just like, what the fuck? No, all the people I liked, no. Dude, it's done so well, and like the music for it and the cinematography of it and the way that they like roll all the old footage and stuff, like, man, as a wannabe filmmaker, that shit makes me fucking want to be better. Like, they're so good, man. It's very, very well done. Yeah, Wild Wild Country, you gotta watch sometime. It's so good. I watched the whole series in one sitting. It's like 8 episodes, like fucking all day, you know, and it's that good that like you could just keep watching it, you know?
Yeah. You ever seen any of the Adam Curtis documentaries?
Not sure.
Like Century of the Self is probably the most famous one.
I feel like I have seen that, but it's been so long I don't remember any of it.
It's about Edward Bernays.
Okay.
Freud's nephew, who invented like public relations and marketing and manipulating the public, basically.
Yeah.
But it's like, so Edward Bernays, Adam Curtis is like, his worldview is kind of like basic, but he has a unique style of filmmaking, of like documentary making, where he's like probably the best of anyone I've ever seen at using like clips from other things, but like sort of matching the sort of the clip to the topic he's talking about in a sort of a seamless way. I don't know. He has a very distinctive style. You kind of just have to watch it to understand what I'm saying, but but he uses lots of film clips and lots of other, lots of things that aren't necessarily related, like exactly, but they're like thematically related.
I love that.
And he's like really good at cutting them all in and making it all flow and like. Yeah, I know that you do that too. So that's why I'm saying like you should definitely check that out and see. Yeah. That's just like it's a filmmaking thing.
That's something I've been doing a lot of lately is watching other people's content for just inspiration, just for the film aspect of it, of like how to do my cuts and how to tell my story and do my transitions and all of that shit, And yeah, like lately, like one of the things I've been doing is like short, hyper digestible, funny clips that are relating to what I'm talking about, and like the way that I'm doing it is totally from taking notes from watching other YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, he has a lot of really good documentaries.
I need to watch that one that you were telling me about the other day that's all about woke.
Oh, the Kinsey.
Yeah, the Kinsey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Kinsey syndrome.
Yeah.
That stuff is so wild that it's just like still exists, and it's like the origin of like all of our sex education and like all these, like why sexual predators get such low sentences. People are always like, why, how come, people like comment on that all the time. Like, how come this person got such a low sentence for this, like, horrible sex crime? Well, it's because of Alfred Kinsey. Because he was like a pedophile, or at least a pedophile sympathizer. And he said in his supposedly academic books and stuff that, like, you shouldn't give sex criminals long sentences because it won't help. And then he was considered an academic, and so this trickled down into all the like sentencing guidelines and stuff.
Yeah, I got the Kinsey Reports Wikipedia page up. It says the Kinsey Reports are 2 scholarly books on human sexual behavior in the human.
Scholarly, huh?
Sexual behavior in the human male, 1948, and Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, 1953, written by Alfred Kinsey, Wardell Pomeroy, Clyde Martin, and for Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, Paul Gebhard, and published by W.B. Saunders. Kinsey was a zoologist at Indiana University and the founder of the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Gender, and Reproduction, more widely known as the Kinsey Institute. Jean Brown, Cornelia Christensen, Dorothy Collins, Hedwig Lesser, and Eleanor Rohrer were all acknowledged as research assistants in the book's title page. Alice Field was a sex researcher, criminologist, and social scientist in New York. As a research associate for sexual behavior in the human female, she provided assistance with legal questions. The sociological data underlying the analysis and conclusions found in sexual behavior in the human male was collected from approximately 5,300 men over a 15-year period. Sexual behavior.
But the thing is, so what he his whole thing was to say like, oh, I'm a zoologist. I'm such a hard-nosed scientist. But it was really just like, he hated any sort of constriction on sexuality, and he was like an activist. And so what he did was, for his sexual behavior in the human male, large number of his sample size of his men, who were supposedly like average men, right? But a lot of them were like sex criminals in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't tell anyone that. And then for sexual behavior in the human female, a bunch of them were prostitutes. and he didn't tell anyone that. Then he published these books pretending to be all scientific. Just like, oh, this is what the data says, guys. Apparently, everyone's a total freak. You know, in the late 40s, early 50s.
Mm-hmm. When you could get away with just lying about everything.
Yeah, well, because he invented sexology, like no one else was doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but he was just wanting to fuck with everyone, basically, because he hated the conservative society, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was just fucking with everyone, basically. Because that's what he was, a freak who wanted to do whatever he wanted to do.
I wonder if he was into Thelema.
I wouldn't. He had a correspondence with all kinds of insane pedophiles, including a Nazi. It's all in the documentary. But the craziest thing is, like, there's no justice for it, and, you know, the Kinsey Institute is still a thing. They still defend his legacy. They made a Hollywood movie about him called Kinsey, and it's, like, all about how great he is.
What?
But he was actually a monster.
What? Here, hold on. Alfred Kinsey movie.
They showed me the movie in school, in high school.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the guy's cool. He
What?
was, you know?
Didn't you go to some fucking super gay high school, though?
Yeah. It's named after Malcolm X. It's like super left wing.
Dude, I think you went to the same high school as my ex. I was looking at her Facebook a few days ago, and I was like, son of a bitch, that's where Java went. You guys might have known each other. You're the same age. Yeah, you're the exact same age. Like, you would have been the same graduating class.
Oh, then I definitely know her. It's a tiny-ass school.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk after the episode. We'll disclose.
Yeah.
A look at the life of Alfred Kinsey, a pioneer in the area of human sexuality research, whose 1948 publication "Sexual Behavior in the Human
That's like
Male"
saying a serial killer who cuts people up is a pioneer at looking inside of people's bodies.
Oh man, that's a clip. Let's talk about Alfred Kinsey. Sex.
Wikipedia is all going to be lies, though.
Yeah, I mean, it always is.
Nah, but especially because there's still, like, all these people who defend him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, so he has, but he, like, it's not even a secret. Like, it's in his book. He, like, has all this data about sex with children, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where did he get this data? Well, he says it was sent to him by anonymous pedophiles that he was in correspondence with. But it turns out he was in correspondence with, and he kept requesting them for more data. So he knew that they were, like, molesting kids, and he was like, I just want the data. But the more you get into it, it seems like he was, like, probably a pedophile himself. He was, like, writing to all these pedophiles around the world and stuff.
Was he friends with Michel Foucault, or was that after him?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure Foucault was influenced by him. Let me see.
Trying to see if I can find pictures of them together.
I found a good article on it. It links Kinsey and Michel Foucault.
Like they knew each other?
No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know.
The age?
Polymorphous perversity in the heartland. The scandal of the Kinsey Institute and Indiana University. You're looking for ground... What?
I found a related article to that from Albert Mohler.
Yeah, it's the same one.
The age... I'm looking at part 4.
Ah.
The Age of Polymorphous Perversity, part 4.
If you're looking for ground zero in the sexual revolution, you might not think of America's heartland, but you should. You should think of Indiana University and the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Gender, and Reproduction. Founded more than 75 years ago as the Institute for Sex Research, it was from the start a primary platform for the sexual revolution and the twisted vision of its founder, Alfred Kinsey. The Kinsey Institute is in the news because Indiana's legislature passed a funding bill, later signed by the state's governor, that banned the Kinsey Institute from receiving state funds. About fucking time. Wow. Last week, Indiana University's board bowed to student and faculty protests and voted to delay a vote on separating the institute from the university. UI President Pamela Whitten expressed continued support for the institute as part of the university. I look forward to our collaboration as we ensure that the Kinsey Institute continues as a beacon of academic freedom at UI for decades to come. Wow. Defenders attempt to dismiss concerns as based on conservative critiques, but it is for that reason that I rely on none of it. Everything that follows, as you'll see, is based on my review of the primary source material. It reveals the Kinsey Institute as no beacon of academic virtue. In reality, the Kinsey Institute is a laboratory, museum, and library of what the radical philosopher Michel Foucault called polymorphous perversity. Kinsey, a biologist who had conducted specialized research on gall wasps, was one of the most important figures driving a new and radical vision of human sex and sexuality in the 20th century. He arrived in Bloomington as a biologist, but his dark legacy has virtually nothing to do with gall wasps, and everything to do with the fact that he was a deeply tormented man, given to multiple forms of sexual deviancy, whose ambition was to destroy traditional sexual morality and to liberate humanity into a new sexual age. Wow, sounds very, Salemic.
Yup. And he was fucking kids in Tunisia. I'm pretty sure Aleister Crowley also went to Tunisia.
I was going to say, it sounds like he was influenced by Aleister Crowley, maybe. That new era of sexuality and sexual morality came packaged with the aura of science. In Kinsey's most famous book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, published in 1948, presented the American public with the argument, supposedly driven by scientific methodology, that sexual practices believed to be deviant were in fact normal. Indeed, the main message of Kinsey's work is that there is no normal. His most famous work was followed in 1953 by Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, but by then Kinsey's mission was fully underway. He had become an icon of sexual liberation.